Happy Christmas everybody, and I hope you're having a great day. Even if you don't celebrate it, you can always have a great day anyway. Today I've just got another Ask Joshino Anything, the show where you can ask me, Joshino, any question you so desire, and I try to answer every question I can. So just a few channel updates before I get into the questions. We've actually been made an official Discord partner, and it won't kick in for a week or so, but it's generally just awesome. And just in general, everything this year has been fairly awesome. Thank you everybody for both supporting me financially, getting me through the hard parts with Patreon and PayPal donations, and also just generally sticking around, watching my videos, letting my channel grow, and making this into my job. I'm basically doing it like, it's like a part-time wage at the moment, but it's enough for me to get by whilst I'm still living my rent. But it's generally been an awesome year, so I couldn't have a happier Christmas, so thank you all very much. And sorry that the videos have been a bit weird at the moment, like they've been a bit out of sync, but I lost all of my footage on my hard drive, so it meant that I couldn't play any of the games really because I didn't have any footage. I even lost my Insomnia stuff, which is an event I went to earlier this year that I really wanted to do a video on. I probably will do in the next few days. Anyway, let's go on to the questions. Now I've got them on my iPhone. Basically, yeah, my phone broke as well, and that's where I uploaded everything. And the iPhone is a bit weirder, like you can share files with it, but it's not as easy as an Android device, but I can still upload on the 4G way faster than my really slow broadband. The first question comes from Amir Shawbaggy. He says, what do you think the flanker assassin champion that has a melee attack is gonna be? Hi-Res Driver mentioned him. Any info about that? Maybe he'll be like Genji. So Driver did mention about adding a character with like a sword and a pistol. And actually, if you've seen the old designs for Androxus, it may very well be a lot like that. Androxus used to have this sort of like long, it's sort of between a spear and a blade. In one hand and then had a pistol in the other. What they said basically is they didn't want a melee hero because you can't dodge the attacks and it can be frustrating to play against. But a hero that is both melee and attack and range attack with basically skill shots might be something they will look at. It could be a bit like Genji because Genji has like his throwing stars and then has a slash that is the melee. I think it would probably be along those lines if there was something to come out. But that might be the closest we see to a melee hero, but I'd definitely check out the old Androxus designs if you want to have maybe an inkling of what will come, because developers definitely do use old designs and old concepts for new stuff. Joel says, what are your PC specs and do you stream on Twitch? And I'll try and link the PC specs below, but at the basis of it, it's a GTX 970 and an i5 4690K. It's getting a bit old now in the general hardware. I wish I had an i7 to do all my rendering with, but it's going well at the moment. Apart from the fact that my one of my hard drives died, and also my CPU fan died a little bit before that. So I've had a bit of bad luck with my PC at the moment. Alain Duplan says, what software do you use to record PC gameplay without dropping FPS? And that's Shadowplay for me, because of the codecs and stuff, and that's for NVIDIA cards over, I think, a 580, maybe it's higher. But the ATI, or the AMD alternative, is the Raptor software without a E or an O, so it's RAPTR software. So check that out if you've got an AMD card. And then somebody else below that said, Hantel Media, I honestly think opening up streaming would be a huge increase of income for you so you could live off it. But the problem for me is my internet is absolutely crap, so I can't stream. And to answer the question before, yeah, I just can't stream at the moment, so sorry folks. MA Styler LP says, how can I find a good team to join in esports in Paladins? So really, it's all about playing as much as you can, then going on Discords, especially the main Paladins one, getting into the scrims. The main Paladins one actually has like a random scrim where they mix people together, getting to know people in the esports scene, talking to them, and just joining like an amateur team, like one that sets itself up, making friends with them, maybe becoming a sub, playing with them a lot, playing as a team, and then eventually joining a esports team. I actually want to make a video on esports and how to get it in properly, so stay tuned for that because I'll do a bit more of an in-depth thing on that. Master 101 says, what game is better, Paladins or Overwatch? I think they're both different games and they're both fun in different ways. Overwatch is better with its shooting, Paladins has a lot more complexity in the items and stuff, it's a bit more like a MOBA, and personally I prefer Paladins, but I don't think it's better. Like, it's not like better in any way, it's just different. Somebody else asks if I stream again. No. Okay, so Mana Gold says, will you do some more challenges, like try to be friendly with the enemy team, kind of like in TF2? Or I don't know, think of some other funny things, should be fun. Yeah, I'm sure some fun, like, challenges and things could be good, or a good thing to do, but I'm always friendly to the enemy team. I always say GGWP, unless I'm completely tilted and I'm completely angry, so yeah, normally I'm pretty friendly to the enemy team. Holla says, do you ever encounter high ping in servers, i.e. 200 plus MS? And how can you check the ping when in champion selection? I don't know if you can check it in champion selection. I know that you can toggle it whilst you're in game. But yeah, I have bad internet, so it does fluctuate just randomly. So it's not even necessary to do with the Paladin servers. But sometimes, yes, the Paladin servers do spike and the whole team will notice it. And that's quite annoying and they really need to sort that out. Elijah Doe says, is there any way to do a tournament with 5v5 scrims just for fun and not competing for money? And I definitely want to do that in Discord, maybe doing some sort of like the Paladins one, do like mixed groups where you just randomly put people together and then have like 5v5s, maybe have like a prize, but maybe not money. I know that Hyra's giving me some codes every so often, usually after every patch, but that could be very fun. This other person asked what computer specs are. I might actually just list them in the description or something like that. But the accessories, I've got the K70, Corsair K70 RGB is my keyboard. I got this whilst I was still working and it is my baby. It just has this sort of rainbow setup and it's pretty awesome. And I've got the G502 Spectrum mouse. I don't know whether I completely like it. I don't know whether it fits my grip in my hand completely. But it's doing its job at the moment. Rogue Wolf said 6'5". Sheesh, how's the weather up there? It's a bit foggy actually, a bit wet. Generally when you get this height it's hard to breathe as well. No, I'm just kidding. I know it's fine. Little P.O. says, can you try Go Gigantic? I have actually got some videos, if you look back in my past, of Gigantic, the game. And I have actually just downloaded it on the store and I'll be checking that out, maybe getting some footage of that very soon. MojoCast asks, hey Joshino, I know you've answered this question a ton, but I can't ever seem to get the answer. And I mean, it's not like it's in your gameplay videos or anything, but what's your Paladin's in-game name? It's Barbara, duh. No, it's Joshino. Seriously, nobody asked that again. Giant Gaming says, what's your upload and download speed? Please tell me. The download speed is actually okay. It's like 800 kilobytes per second. That's like the download speed, but the actual speed of that is 8 megabits per second, not megabytes, bits. But in reality, that's like 800 kilobytes per second down. And the upload, it uploads about 150 kilobytes a second, so that's like 1.5 megabits a second, I think, on the upload speed. The Smite guy says, have you ever played Smite? And I have. I tried out the new hero, not Nike, but the one before that, Thoth, I think it was. And yeah, it was quite fun, but with a MOBA you have to learn quite a lot, and you feel like you're just rubbish before you learn all of the rules. I didn't know all the item sets, I didn't know all the skill increases and buffs and how it affected each character, so I was a bit of a newbie, but I probably would like to get into it a bit more. I played a lot of Dota 2, but my friends have cooled off it a bit, so maybe I'll look into Smite a bit more. Emerald Sheep B says, Joshino, what would your dream character be in game? I don't know, I would quite like to see the melee pistol hybrid character, that an old Androxus concept where he has a bandana over his head instead of a full mask and has a sort of spear blade thing. Applesauce says, Joshino, how many champions is it to get to gold mastery to play competitive? You don't need to get, I don't think you need to get into gold, you just need to get into level 4. I can't remember how many it is, but it's something like 10 or 12 you have to get to level 4. And really you should be getting every character unlocked at level 4 because you might need to play them at some point. And whether or not you're playing for free or not, it doesn't really matter. You just grind it out. Honestly, the more you grind, the better you are going to go into competitive. And the way competitive works at the moment is you play a few games and that sort of places you, and it's more wild at the start, like you can go up and down. If you win loads, you go up loads. If you lose loads, you go down loads. But eventually it normalizes out, and then you have like a regular MMR gain of like 20 or so. And that's where I'm at the moment, at the 4,700-ish mark. But if you are like stuck lower, you might be quite annoyed because it's going to be a climb to get up there. And like at the very start, you have a greater gain and loss. Okay, Nathaniel Cupid says, okay, here's my question. Why do you play Paladins? I don't know. I just played it, I gave it a shot, and I enjoyed it a lot. I played it in alpha because I thought, hey, I'll cover this game. It looks like it's something that could be hot. And I didn't actually like it that much in alpha. I thought it was a bit clunky. But then when I tried it again in beta, I just offhand thought, well, let's just give it another shot. And bam, I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I was into it. Unlike Overwatch, which I played quite a bit to begin with, but I didn't get hooked. Like, it didn't have that extra stuff. Just Paladin seems to have the extra meta and sort of the depth with the items and sort of the sort of like tactics with that. Whereas Overwatch is just about the movement and the positioning and the shooting. So I guess that's why it hooked me. Number 16 bus station says, so where's the Discord channel? And it'll be linked below, and it's linked in pretty much every video now. And yes, we're partnered now. Take the Cake says, would you like some League characters? I think I've answered that. Just Be Fresh says, what game mods would you add to Paladins if you were a dev? I think a PvE mode would be awesome on Paladins, mainly because it would draw in different types of players. Like we've got all the sort of PvP players at the moment, but a PvE group would be great and just sort of make the community bigger. Let's try and throw that across. Joseph Chower says, how can you play as a solo tank? And it's happening quite a lot. Just generally sticking with your healer, making sure that you're not going out on your own. I think the problem with tanks is they often think, I'm on the point, so I'm doing the right thing. But most of the time, if you're on the point alone, then you're just letting yourself die. You want to be with your group, you want to be with your team, and making sure that you're the healer in your team, if you have one. I mean, sometimes it doesn't happen. But if the healer is there, then they can see you and they can heal you. And sometimes you do need to flank or go around the sides, especially as Makoa. You want to be dragging people out, getting that kill, and then moving on to the point, not going on to the point straight away. So my tips are really stick with your team if you're a solo tank. Don't just keep running to the point and dying all the time. Frederick Hertz says, what are your tips to play Androxus? I can't play with him, and I can play Cassie, and I have an ultimate Androxus guide that I suggest you check out. He has got nerfed a little bit, but most of the stuff hasn't changed. His ultimate also doesn't instantly do the damage. You have to get it exactly on the target. But for all intensive purposes, the guide still goes through everything. The Archer says, how do I play with 25 FPS? It's not ideal. Probably you should be lowering your settings. That's actually a good video by Low Spec Gamer, I think is the name of the channel, going over how you can get like the very lowest Paladins. And honestly, even if you reduce your graphics, the higher the FPS, the better really. And you might want to check that out. Ludi Zoka says, do you play Paladins every day, and when did you start to play? So I played months and months ago in the alpha, and I probably do play every day now. I just play a game or so to just have fun, or maybe play all day if I can. Larry the Lobster says, is your hair red? No, it's actually like purple. I mean, you can't really tell, but it looks more red than it does purple anymore. Maybe like it's all washed out a bit, but it was meant to be purple. Tenku Aleph says, hey Josh, I was curious to know, what is the meta right now? It's definitely still Evie, Cassie, Makoa is the tank, I think, is the big one. Maybe Fernando. Barrett can be okay on his own. Ruckus is definitely getting into the meta in the double tank lineup because he puts out so much damage. I mean, I think they need to do a whole video on like the meta, but at the moment definitely still Cassie is very strong and Evie is very strong. Androxus nerf has hit him quite hard, and he's definitely not the first pick every time now. Like you don't normally get like an Androxus Cassie pick straight away. The Cassie did get nerfed as well, but still very good. Samarawara Chan says, Samara or Chuan says, how the fuck do you aim? Basically, lower your mouse sensitivity, look up some guides on how to get your mouse completely right in the game. Cami has a good video on YouTube, and if you basically search aiming and Paladins, you'll probably find that. Or Definite Hanzo has one as well. And maybe I'll do one in the future, but I haven't got that on my plans right yet. Zaneberger says, who is your main in Paladins? Mine's probably Book. Thank you for reading from Zane in Australia. You actually had Christmas yesterday for me, so it's like Boxing Day for you. But my main, I don't really have one, to be honest. I play a lot of Cassie, a lot of Evie, a lot of Androxus, a lot of Makoa, a lot of Maldamba. And I'm playing a bit of Kinessa at the moment. Just generally playing a lot of characters. Havik says, why is your voice so sweet? And I don't think it is, it's just, I don't know. I guess I've done a lot of videos, so I had a lot of training with my voice and sort of getting the commentary right. Just generally speaking. But I don't know whether it's sweet. Okay, Zal says, what is your favourite quote from any author, politician or famous person? Keep up at the work. I think my friend actually said something that's really stuck with me at the moment, and that is just be true to yourself and be confident in who you actually are. And I guess that's why I've got my hair coloured, and like it's weird because I've just like become like the geek that I am. Like I just acknowledge it now that I am a bit of a nerd. Like everyone knows now. Before I sort of kept it like hidden, but now I'm just a lot more confident and just sort of more happy just because I've sort of admitted who I am, I guess. So just admit who you are and wear it on your sleeves. Don't try and hide it. That's sort of my way forward. He isn't famous though. He's in a band called Evil Plays Dead. It's actually Seb. And actually he was actually referring to getting with girls, but I think it just generally works in real life as well. Just for confidence. Kof Siak says, how is your boyfriend doing? I don't have a boyfriend. I'm not actually a homosexual, or at least I don't think I am. I'm open-minded, but generally in life, every person I've been attracted to so far is a female, so that's just how it is. So I don't have a boyfriend. CU says, when will you start your coaching videos? I did that a few days ago. Luke Beckley says, what's better to start off a Paladins match? Building an item that's great for your loadout, or champion, or counter building against the other team? At the moment, Haven and Blast Shield are so powerful that often it is countering them. And generally your items are going to be built to counter the enemy team. Like you're going to get Wrecker, you're going to get Cauterizer if they have a really good healer like a Ying. So generally counter your enemy team. It depends on the character as well, like Charlene and Tyra now really depend on movement, so Nimble is something definitely to look at. So it's not the same on every character. Hi there says, how can you get gems easy without paying? And there really isn't a way. The only way to get gems is to log in every day and get those gems at the end of the week. There's no other way really. It's just how it is. It's a free-to-play game. They've got to make some money somewhere. Timo again says, can you compare Overwatch to Paladins? I have videos on that. I've got 2 videos on that so far, and I have mentioned that before. Penguin TLK BL2 Vid says, can I ask you something? And of course you can. Maybe in the next video. Gamir GTA says, no one uses Sky ? She has had a weird like slight buff in the fact that her accuracy is better. And people do seem to be picking up in casual, just testing her out, but definitely not made it into competitive yet. We'll just have to see how it goes. I don't think she'll make it into competitive yet. She hasn't been buffed enough. And she did get enough with the health, so she's in a bit of a weird place still. Anyway, my camera battery ran out, so that seems like a natural point to end. And I'm sorry to everybody that didn't get their question answered this week. And actually, I've been getting loads more questions than I normally do, so it's actually taken like 20 minutes for the just maybe like 3/4 of the questions I've answered. But if you do want a question answered for next time, be sure to put it in the comments section below, and I will try and answer every single one of them, and hopefully my camera will live out the fullest of all of the questions next time. But it's Christmas, so I better get on and go back to tea and my family. And I wish you all a very Merry Christmas as well, and a Happy Holidays, Hanukkah, or whatever you have these few days. Maybe just getting presents, that would be great as well. Anyway, I'll see you all next time. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, dislike it if you didn't. Subscribe for more of my content, and see you all next time. Joshino.
You don't give up. Impossible.